Emmerdale delivered a major shock in tonight's episode, as Moira Dingle secretly agreed to sell Butler's Farm to Kim Tate without telling her husband Cain. It's a decision that many viewers believed she would never make. Following weeks of intense pressure from Joe Tate's blackmail, Cain's cancer diagnosis, and Moira's recent time in prison, the farmer eventually decided to surrender. However, Cain remained completely unaware of her choice. Instead, it was Joe who ended up exposing the shocking truth. This unexpected twist raises many questions about what lies ahead for Cain, the farm, and the entire Dingle family. During tonight's episode, Moira officially agreed to sell the farm. Earlier, Kim had already shown she was unhappy with Joe continuing to target the Dingles after she instructed him to leave them alone. Joe tried to defend himself, claiming he was the real victim after Cain attacked him, but Kim had no interest in listening to his excuses. Trying to inflate his own pride, Joe told Lydia to bring out the champagne. Rather than obeying quietly, Lydia bluntly shared her opinion of his idea, which left Kim amused by the uncomfortable situation. Kim then kept her next move secret and quietly went to visit Moira in prison. Moira wasted no time making her purpose clear. She told Kim that they should stop playing games and let the adults handle the situation properly. She then shocked Kim by proposing to sell her portion of the farm. Kim was taken aback that Moira was ready to give up and questioned why she had suddenly stopped resisting. At first, Moira remained silent, but Kim refused to consider the offer unless Moira explained the truth. That was when Moira finally revealed Cain's cancer diagnosis. Clearly emotional, Moira admitted how hard everything had become and confessed she had not even told Cain about the arrangement. Kim showed an unusual moment of compassion, saying she admired Moira for putting her family above everything else. The two women eventually agreed on the sale, with Kim also assuring Moira that she would always be allowed to visit Holly's grave. Meanwhile, at home farm, Joe was already in a celebratory mood. However, Kim quickly ruined his happiness by revealing Cain's cancer diagnosis to him. Joe soon understood that this was the reason Graham had decided to support Cain instead of standing by him. Even so, Joe still wanted to celebrate, which left those around him feeling extremely uncomfortable. So what will happen to the farm now? Moira giving up the fight was something many fans never expected to see. Now viewers are left wondering what the future holds. Number 1. Who will end up running the farm in Emmerdale? Joe had previously promised Robert Sugden the role of tenant farmer after Robert sold his own share of the land to the Tates. However, it remains uncertain whether Robert will actually take the position. Another possibility is that Kim might step in and overrule Joe, potentially offering the tenancy back to Moira and Cain. Whether they would even agree to return is an entirely different question. Number 2. What will Cain say? Earlier in the episode, Cain made his opinion absolutely clear. He firmly stated that the farm would never be put up for sale, and even warned Aaron that the Tates would only take it from him over his dead body. So how will he respond once he discovers that Moira has already made an agreement? Will Cain understand why she felt forced to make that choice, considering everything they are going through? Or will his temper explode, leading him to try and prevent the sale from happening? In next week's episodes, Cain is seen searching for new farmland, which creates even more curiosity about what he is planning next. Number 3. Where will the family go? Butler's Farm is more than just a workplace for Cain and Moira. It has also been their family home for years. If the sale is completed and they are forced to move out, the big question becomes where they will live. Wishingwell Cottage is already crowded with members of the Dingle family, yet somehow they always manage to find room for a few more relatives. Another possibility is that they could temporarily move into the Woolpack if Chas offers them somewhere to stay. Seeing Cain working behind the bar might even become something viewers grow accustomed to. Number 4. Can Robert and Aaron still get married now? If Robert ultimately accepts the tenant farmer position, it could place Aaron in an extremely awkward situation with his family. Would the Dingles understand his reasons for supporting Robert? Or could Aaron risk damaging his relationships with the people closest to him? And once the truth eventually emerges that Robert not only takes control of Moira's farm, but also framed her originally, it is difficult to imagine the consequences being anything other than explosive. Jacob Gallagher's confidence takes a serious hit in Emmerdale as his bullying boss continues to escalate her harsh campaign against him. Jacob already has a lot happening in his life. He's training to become a doctor, preparing for the arrival of his baby, and dealing with a wife who secretly steals cars to help her struggling grandfather survive financially. On top of all that, he also has to cope with a nightmare boss, making his situation even more stressful. Dr. Todd was supervising Jacob's placement during the time his mother Layla died, and also when he made the devastating mistake of wrongly telling Marlon Dingle that his daughter had died due to a mix-up in identification. It appears Dr. Todd hasn't forgotten those difficult moments and seems determined to make Jacob's life harder, possibly while also feeling threatened by how talented he is. At one point she told him, at the risk of sounding like a broken record, before once again claiming that the reason she is so tough on him is because he is simply too good at his job. Her comments feel like a strange form of blaming the victim. Jacob later landed himself in an extremely awkward position when he honestly admitted how difficult his boss had been toward him, only to realize she was standing right behind him and had heard everything. On the surface, Dr. Todd laughed it off with Manpreet Sharma, joking that Jacob certainly wouldn't be the first or last person to complain about her. However, it quickly became clear she intended to use the situation against him, immediately ordering him to place 5 research proposals on her desk by the following morning. The demand was practically impossible to complete in such a short time. Dr. Todd then put Jacob in another uncomfortable position by publicly offering him a place in her mentorship program in front of his friends and family, knowing he wouldn't feel able to refuse. She soon used this opportunity to tighten her control over him, preventing him from focusing on his real coursework while pressuring him into completing tasks for her instead. Meanwhile, Jacob is already dealing with intense pressure in his personal life. He is struggling with the lies his wife has been telling, as well as the devastating news that Cain Dingle has cancer. Under these circumstances, it's hardly surprising he finds it difficult to concentrate on such an important opportunity. Now that the mentorship has officially begun, Dr. Todd appears to have intensified her harsh treatment even further. Jacob's latest blow arrives when he receives her evaluation notes after she observed his work, and the criticism is so brutal that he can barely handle it. With his confidence shattered, Jacob now seems dangerously close to giving up entirely. The big question is whether he will abandon his dream career just to escape his toxic boss, especially with his baby due to arrive soon. Emmerdale airs weeknights at 8 p.m. on ITV1 and is also available to stream on ITVX.